Alright, fellas, what's good? We're going to be doing a little bit of a review of UFC 315 that took place this weekend, where we had Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddaleno. Now, boys, I don't know if you saw the last video I made. My picks weren't terrible. Some of them I got to a T, perfect, and others were a little off. So overall, I went 8 and 12. So we're gonna get straight into the first fight of the night, which I predicted perfectly, ladies and gentlemen. So Beksat Almakhan, he took a win over Brad Katona on Saturday with a knockout in the first round. Now the takeaways from this fight where he just looked really clean on the feet. He was timing his shots perfectly against Brad, who was trying to go in for a takedown. He kept going in for a double leg, and he was getting caught with an uppercut by Beksat twice. The second one put him away, the first one stung him really bad. Brad had never been knocked out before this fight, but I could just see something in Al Makan. That's why I predicted round one knockout in the video, and I'm excited to see how Al Makan's going to go in his career, because I think we have a prospect here, ladies and gentlemen. After that one, we moved on to Daniel Santos. This man looked pretty interesting at featherweight. I was worried for him because he originally was at featherweight, which that's not right. That's not right. Yeah, so we have Daniel Santos. He took a win over Lee Jung Young, and that was by decision. I thought this would be a fight of a night scrap, and I said it would be ended by Santos in the third round by submission. I was a little wrong on that case, but fight of a night worthy it was. I didn't see who got the performances of the night bonuses because they didn't have Dana on the press conference, the post-fight press conference. But my takeaways from this fight were that Daniel Santos looked pretty good at featherweight. He looked a little bit like not muscly. He had a bit of chub to him. So if he got that sorted out, I could see him being a very interesting featherweight. He looked pretty good in this fight. And yeah, no, easily could have been fight of the night. I'm pretty sure JDM versus Muhammad will probably take that because that was a banger too. But yeah, no, Daniel Santos did one right for Oliveira. Had a great fight against Lee Jong Young. So we're going to move on from that, and we're going on to the next fight, which was Marc-Andre Barriault. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is where I was wrong. My first wrong pick on this channel. I didn't see him winning against Bruno Silva, yet alone ending his life almost. This man fractured his skull. I don't know if you guys have seen the replay on Twitter, on Instagram. It's been doing the rounds, but alright, before I was rudely interrupted by my PC exploding, I was talking about his skull fracture. Now, if you've been on Twitter recently, you might have seen it. It was a disgusting angle, but you see a part of his skull break once he hit that elbow in a clinch against the cage. That was disgusting. Amazing fight by Marc-Andre Barriault. There's a moment where Bruno caught his leg and landed some shots. I got a little worried for his chin because I don't know. I thought he might just get flatlined, but I was wrong. Yeah, no, didn't expect Marc-Andre to win in that fashion. I thought this fight was definitely going the distance. I didn't see either of these guys as exactly big shot landers, especially just because Bruno's looks like he just doesn't want to be there anymore when he fights, and I honestly could see this being his last fight in the UFC. Good performance by Mark. Excited to see he got a win, especially, getting a win like that in front of your hometown. It's nice to see. So, good job, Marc-Andre Barriault. However, we've got beef now, bro. You are now the first fighter I want dead. No, I'm kidding. but you gave me my first wrong pick, so that's this is a declaration for war, buddy. I'm picking against you every other fight. Moving on, we have. Oh, sorry. In the fight prediction, I said Bruno was gonna win by decision 29-28. I had that wrong. Not upset at you proving me wrong, but that was a great knockout to watch, so I can't be too upset about that. Moving on, we have Navajo Sterling. Now, he fought Ivan Erslan and took it to decision. I said this was gonna be a fun kickboxing fight that will end early. Sterling early round 2 TKO. Wow, couldn't be more wrong, huh? So yeah, no, this went to decision, which Navajo won. So I guess that part right that Navajo would win. I thought it'd be a round 2 TKO. I thought Navajo was just gonna piece them up, and I thought it was gonna be fun, dude. I didn't see this fight as extremely entertaining. There was a part in round 3 where Navajo dropped him and couldn't finish him on the ground, which I was sad to see. You need to see disengagement. I saw Guru talking about this, where a lot of fighters have an issue of getting tangled up. They don't want to separate when they've hurt their opponent, which leads to the downfall of a lot of people in those fights that can't get a finish because of it. But yeah, extremely surprised I didn't get to see the finish in the third round. Now, I was driving to a B-dubs at this point during this fight, so I didn't see all of it. I was listening to mainly the commentary, where it would sound like they had Ivan Ursula decimating Navajo Sterling with her right hand, I will tell you that. From the parts I did see, it just looked like Navajo Sterling was piecing him up a little bit more, doing a bit better on the feet. Didn't see anything too crazy. But ultimately a good performance, because Ivan Urslan was a big step up in competition. So I'm excited to see where he will go next with this. I just want to see a finish from Navajo Sterling, dude. I know he has it in him, and I need to see that. Hopefully his next opponent will be someone a little less tanky, I guess. A little less bullet sponge. Hopefully so, because I know he can get some finishes, dude, so I want to see some of those. Shout out Buffalo Wild Wings for not letting me see this fight, because I had to wait for a table. So shout out you guys, bro. Next we have Modestas Bakakis with a win against Ion Kutalaba. Now, in the video I said he was going to chad the decision 30-27 over Ion. He got a 30-27 on one of those cards. Yo, I never want to see that ref again. That was not ref, sorry. I never want to see them judge again, because I don't see this going 30-27. I saw it 29-28 Modestas, not 30-27. In any world where that's 30-27, I just don't know, man. But yeah, it was a controversial decision. They would just look, the fight itself was hard to judge, because they were just landing pitter-patter shots. They were not really doing anything against each other. When they did engage, Bakakis would land better. Ion Kutalaba, when he would land his shots, it was mainly just like knees to the back of the leg in the clinch against the fence. They're pitter-patter shots, dude. That's why I have a little key point here. I say significant strikes need to be reassessed. Because I would check during the fight, like when it shows up the little significant strikes, it was saying that Ion Kutalaba had almost double his significant strikes in the fight, and I was not seeing that in the fight. But I guess they count the knees to the back of the leg as significant strikes. Significant strikes need to be, I don't know, guys, significant. Like punches to the face, like big body shots, not knees to the thigh or little tap away shots when you get them on the ground. Like this is, you can't count those as significant strikes. Add them to total strikes, not significant strikes. Significant strikes need to mean something. Bakakis didn't look great against Ion Kutalaba. I mean, Ion Kutalaba, he's a vet. He's a good competitor. So he didn't look great against him, which isn't ideal, because you want to see him look good against Ion. If you look good against Ion, you go on to do good things. Look at Magomed Ankalaev. He did great things against Ion. First fight was a bit iffy, ultimately because of a stoppage. Everyone knows about that stoppage. It was a little weird. Second fight, he dominated him. But I want to see Modestas Bakakis fight again soon. Ultimately, he didn't take much damage. And him training with Tom Aspinall, if you guys didn't know, he trains with Tom Aspinall. I just want to see him fight soon. Hopefully we get a bit better performance from him. The title run starts here, ladies and gentlemen. I can see him going far. I really can. I think he's going to turn around. He's gonna dominate the next dude, bro. Chad Bakakis starts now. Moving on, we go on to Jasmine Yasuda Vicious, who I predicted to win via decisions. However, this little bonus point I had wrote down says bonus points for rear naked choke. Now, I'm hoping I said that in the video, because I'm going to be crying if I didn't. Ultimately, Jasmine wins via rear naked choke in the first round over Jessica Andrade, where Andrade just didn't really have anything for Jasmine. She just kind of got taken down and immediately couldn't do anything against Jasmine. She was beating her up on the ground. Then Jessica gives her back, and she easily ties up that submission, which, thank God, because I don't think I would have had it in me to watch another decision this card. Oh my God, there were so many. We'll talk about that later. So Jasmine's going to move up to number 7. Might give her number 6, honestly. Who knows? But I want to see her fight Rose Namajunas. Rose Namajunas hasn't had a great couple fights recently. So I think her taking a fight down in the rankings is a necessity. So give her Jasmine. I want to see if Rose can stop the takedowns, how Jasmine will deal with a person who's not getting taken down is super easy and who can strike a little bit. If she can overcome the Rose Namajunas hurdle, give her a top 3. I want to see that. I don't mind that. Jasmine's on a war path right now, and she's getting some nice fucking wins, dude. So let's push Jasmine up the rankings a bit. I want to see that. Next we have Mike Mallet. Now, Radke, you let me down, brother. You let me down. You didn't say it again. And you got bitched the whole fight, dude. That was sad to see. Mike Mallet, pre-Magny confidence came back today. Not today, sorry, Saturday. Yeah, and he just came back. He looked great this fight, dude. He smoked Charles Radke. I'd say he had a better performance against Radke than CP did, which is interesting. I do want to see the Mike Mallet versus Carlos Prates match up. I think that would be fun. Let Mike Mallet get another win before he gets offered that. Maybe if CP sits out for a bit or takes another fight and loses, we give him Mike Mallet. That'd be good. Yeah, no, Mike Mallet looked great. He dropped Radke and finished him pretty quick. Dominated that dude. Yeah, no, this was a great win for Mallet. He needed that in front of his hometown. Last fight, he put on a stinker. This fight, he dominated, dude. Dominated him, dropped him. Just little boy Deb, man. So, defended the North from foreign invaders is a key point I had wrote down here. So, well, oh God, I like to think I'm a comedian sometimes, guys. But yeah, no, so he's got that confidence back, and welterweights be on the watch out for this guy. We're gonna see him compete well again. I'm excited for this dude because his last fight was a stinker, and he was looking great before that Magny fight. Even during that Magny fight, looked great until the 3rd round ultimately. So I'm excited to see where Mike Mallet goes. I had Charles Radke winning by 1st round TKO. I don't know what I was cooking with that one. So yeah, Mike Mallet takes a win. Great win for him. We're gonna move on. Benoit Saint Denis. He took the win over Kyle Prepolek through submission in the 2nd round. It was. He looked very slow and hittable, which is not ideal against Kyle Prepolek. And Kyle Prepolek was landing shots. Just ultimately, he had no power or anything for Benoit Saint Denis, so it didn't matter. I think we may have seen Benoit Saint Denis on a free fight losing streak if Yoel Alvarez actually did show up for this fight. I know he got injured or something. I don't know what the injury was. So unfortunately, he couldn't be here. Hence, while Kyle Prepolek was in the fight. But I think Yoel would have killed him. Yoel would have beat Benoit Saint Denis very badly. He just looked very slow and was getting tagged up by shots that should not be landing in this high tier competition. He got a takedown in round 1 and just kind of held him on the floor. Wasn't really doing a ton. I've seen some ground and pound, but it wasn't like he was trying to finish the fight in round 1, which was weird to see. I want to say a gun-shy Benoit Saint Denis in this fight, especially against like Kyle Prepolek. Like, he was throwing bombs at Dustin Poirier, but Kyle Prepolek's a man that he doesn't want to do that against. So you can see his last 2 losses have definitely affected him, the way he's going to be fighting. But I had Benoit Saint Denis through stoppage before round 3. Looks like I got that right, so we'll take that, because I thought he was going to win through a TKO, but I put stoppage down, so I guess we take those. A little safe bet for me. After that, we got Natalia Silva. Also, I want to see that Benoit Saint Denis versus Yoel Alvarez rebucked. I think that fight's going to be fun. I think Yoel Alvarez gets a murder that fight. Won't lie to you. But yeah, we're going to Natalia Silva, who, my glorious queen, she won. She beat Alexa Grasso pretty handedly. Um, didn't really have, like, she doesn't have power on her shot, let's be honest, boys, but she just has such a technical prowess that she doesn't need that power. She can just kind of beat the opponent up without getting hit, and she's just gonna win decisions like this for the rest of her career until someone can figure that out. I don't know. I think a heavy wrestler might be able to figure it out, but we don't see a lot of heavy wrestlers in the 125 division, so hopefully we can figure something that out. I will be bringing up a point later in this video of who I think might be able to handle that, but let's talk about Natalia Silva for right now. I had Natalia Silva winning via split decision. I was wrong. It was just regular decision, boys. Unanimous. And yeah, no controversy whatsoever with that. She just kind of dominated this entire fight. Alexa Grasso had nothing for Natalia Silva. I want to see her fight for a title if they don't do Weili versus Shevchenko. I have a feeling they're kind of stepping away from the double title fights with anyone that isn't named Islam Makhachev for right now. As being a lot of those recently, I kind of want those going back to being important things. However, Weili has definitely earned it. I just have a feeling the UFC isn't going to do it, which is unfortunate to see for Weili. If they don't do Weili Shevchenko, definitely Natalia Silva versus Shevchenko needs to be next. Yeah, I don't believe we're gonna see a lot of finishes from Silva. She looks amazing in the fight. She looks amazing in general. Hey, let's not lie here. But finishes are not what we're gonna be seeing from Silva in the ring. Which, hey, you like getting to see technical prowess, so you win some, you lose some. Just expect a lot of decisions with Natalia Silva. Next on, we move on to a controversial decision. Now, I had Aldo winning by 29-28 decision and retiring. Now, I got the retiring part right for the looks of it. Yeah, Ayman Sahabi takes a win. He won, I want to say it was round 2, and he definitely took round 3. It's not a robbery, boys. We need to stop calling close fights robberies, especially when it's a favored fighter. If they lose a close decision, dude, we can't be calling it a robbery. Robbery used to mean something back in my day. Yeah, no, so Aldo ultimately loses in the third round, where the third round winner would win the entire fight. Landed a mean soccer kick in the third round, which literally fucking launched Zahabi backwards like a UFC 2 knockout animation. But didn't finish the fight. Did not finish the fight. I don't know how Zahabi ate that. Yo, props to him for that, honestly. I'm dying if I get hit with a soccer kick. But yeah, no, he comes back from that, and then I don't know what happened. It looked like Aldo fell over almost, and then just accepted that he wasn't gonna do anything for the rest of the fight. Whereas Zahabi just started landing elbows and hellish ground and pound, which ultimately won him the round. So he wins the fight because of that. I want to see him versus Rob Font. Rob Font doesn't have anything booked right now. He won his last fight. Ultimately, he's on the end of his career. He's like 38, I think. Won a fight against an unranked guy, I want to say, his last fight. Give him Zahabi, dude. Everyone else is kind of booked up in the division, so I want to see Rob Font versus Zahabi next. Why not? You know, let's get that out of the way. So next we move on to this was something, huh? This was a fight of all time, I guess. Valentina Shevchenko wins over Manon Florot in decision. I believe it was 48-47. I, in the video, said Valentina will have a master class. I think she's going to do 50-44, and will show levels to this sport. Oh, she showed levels all right. Bet she should never have a 5-round main event again. Dude, everyone at the B-dubs was falling asleep during this fight. I couldn't hear anything else other than people talking about how boring it was. We need an entertaining fighter in flyweight of the women's division, which ultimately it's hard because you just kind of have no pop in that weight class. Other than Dakota Ditcheva. Now, she's a PFL strawweight champ. If you don't know about her, you will soon. Look up some of her videos. She is sleeping people. She actually puts on fun, entertaining fights. UFC signed this chick, bro. I want her fast tracked through the division. You start her off with like a top 10 fight immediately. Then after that, once she decimates that top 10 opponent, give her top 3, and then I want to see her win for the title. She puts on bangers, and that's what the flyweight division needs. Shevchenko put on a snoozer. Let's be honest. There was a lot of cage stalling, not from really Shevchenko. Manon was doing a lot of his stalling. Uh, but Mark Goddard did not break it up, and he broke it up in a fight previous to that. That he ref this card. So I just need the fans need consistency. The fighters need consistency. The refs decide to break apart fights whenever they want, and it doesn't make sense. We need to keep it consistent. Set like a time limit if nothing's happening. Do like 30 seconds if we haven't seen any position advancements or any fight ending attempts. Separate them from a clinch in the cage because nothing's gonna be happening. Dude, it gets boring seeing these fights, and people are gonna say, "Oh, go watch boxing, go watch kickboxing or whatever." It's be real, dude. You don't even want to see this. Like, you could be the biggest like die-hard fan of this boring ass fight style, and even you don't want to see this. You're just you're trolling on Twitter trying to get some reactions. It's lame to see. No one wants to see this. So let's feed her to Zhang, dude. I think Zhang can definitely win this. I think it'd be entertaining too. Zhang puts on some bangers. She is a chick that definitely likes to go out there and puts one on for the fans. So if she's not fighting Weili, I would really like to see Weili fighting her for the double champ thing. But talked about that earlier. I don't think the UFC has that in the plans, which is unfortunate. So if she's not fighting Weili, let's put her against Natalia Silva. Ultimately, it will probably be a boring ass 25-minute decision, but as a UFC fan, you're used to it. Let's move on to the main event. Jack Della Maddalena with a win over Bilal Muhammad. By decision, boys. That's so important. Okay. I went Bilal by submission. Yep, you heard me right, boys. I picked Bilal by submission. Why did I do that? I just, with a string of events recently, whenever there's something that would benefit the UFC heavily, it typically goes the opposite way. Now, I saw that as Jack Della Maddalena winning. I thought that would be too positive for the UFC. So ultimately, I said Bilal would win. And that's when the UFC decided this is the event where they turned that around. Yeah, no, I just thought JDM was going to get submitted in the 4th round. I thought he would win the earlier rounds, but Bilal would dominate and take him down. Because Gilbert could take him down. Why couldn't Bilal do anything? But props to Bilal, dude. This fight was entertaining. You could clearly see Bilal didn't want to go boring like he has previously. So you want to definitely shout out to Bilal. He put this on as a scrap. JDM, however, my man with a beautiful boxing. Oh my god, he's so good. I need to see this Islam fight now, dude. With his takedown defense, he was just forcing some amazing scrambles. There was a part whenever he would be held up against the fence where he would almost trip himself to cause Bilal to get off of him, and he did that consistently, and it worked every time, dude. It was great to see. I really liked that. I will never go against you. Never again. I apologize, JDM. And I will probably pick you to beat Islam. I will not lie to you. So, yeah, no, had great takedown defense, even though Gilbert could take him down. Not whenever he wanted, but he was having success taking him down. And he looked very calm, dude. Most of his offense came from a back foot towards the start of his fight. Ultimately, in the later rounds, he started pressing forward. Like the 5th round mainly was when he started pressing forward and beating the shit out of Bilal. I didn't realize how much I needed the Islam fight, dude. That's gonna be fight of the year. I was really upset that we're not getting Ilya versus Islam anymore, but I think JDM versus Islam might be more entertaining than that. Ultimately, not hype-wise, because Ilya versus Islam would have got millions of fans, like, going crazy about it, but JDM versus Islam is gonna be an exciting fight to watch, boys. So, yep, there we have it. UFC 315. I went 8 and 12 in my picks, so not terrible. Some of them I got perfectly right. Others, not so much. But if you guys are still here, I really appreciate if you go and subscribe to your boy. Maybe like the video. Comment what you went with your picks. If you bet on this, if you won much money, if you didn't. So, yeah, I will be coming back to you boys later this week. I will be doing a fight prediction for this upcoming fight night card. But yeah, no, boys, appreciate you guys watching the video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.